or history. Apparently he does like Zachy Film style story times, so we're gonna be seeing some of the craziest stories of all times that you would never imagine are actually real. Without further ado, let's not waste any more time and get into these juicy, delectable, delicious, amazing story times. Let's go.
My twin brother Chris and I were 9 when we learned Morse code. We tapped messages under the dinner table when Mom told us to stop talking and tapped through the wall between our bedrooms every night. When Chris got into a car accident and the doctor said he'd never wake up, I pulled up a chair next to his bed, took his hand, and tapped. "Are you there?" Nothing. But I came back the next afternoon and tapped again. Before I left, I always said the same thing. "See you tomorrow, Chris." A week later, Chris's fingers twitched against mine, and I almost fell out of my chair. I grabbed a nurse and she barely looked up. They're reflexes. It doesn't mean anything. I
Nah. He knows Morse code, bro.
Notebook the next day and started writing down every single one. 4 months in, Mom watched me scribbling and said, "How long are you gonna keep doing this?"
Not facts. You probably look like a crazy person to somebody who doesn't know Morse code. Like if you're just tapping away, I can imagine it looks like you're doing like ASMR.
Until he taps back. He's not gonna tap back. You're talking to a corpse. Dad lasted a few more months before he pulled me into the hallway. "We need to talk about donating your brother's organs. His fingers move every time I hold his hand, Dad. The nurses said those are reflexes. Stop getting your hopes up, son."
Damn. Okay, but then at what point would you think that's the person's still alive? They could always just tell you it's reflexes, even if his eyes open. It's his reflexes.
"I don't care what the nurses say. You're not donating my brother's organs." But a week later, my parents called to have Chris transferred to a long-term facility to die and scheduled a meeting to sign the papers.
That's so sad, bro. I wish nobody watching this video is ever put in this position. And if you are, bro, genuinely, bro, praying for you. Sorry for your loss. This is really, really unfortunate, bro. I could not imagine.
Afternoon before the meeting, I tapped into his palm like always, but this time, something tapped back. Short, short, short. Long, long, long. Short, short, short. SOS. I grabbed his hand. "Chris, if that's you, squeeze once." He squeezed so hard my knuckles cracked.
Oh my gosh, he was okay.
I stormed into the meeting room and told them my brother just responded to me. The caseworker said, "This is very common with families who aren't ready to let go." My parents nodded. I grabbed the transfer papers off the table. "You're not signing anything until you—"
Yo, why are the parents so quick to like off the kid though? Like, bro, you would think that the organs are like worth $1 million with the way they're like, okay, sign these papers and deliver the organs. I'm gonna use extra cash or something. Like, this kid must have been like the worst kid ever. They don't like him or something. He must have put pins on the couch or like under their chairs, pissed in their cereal. Because why do you hate him so much, bro? If this was me as a parent, I would do anything I could to even just feel like there's an ounce of life left in my child, bro.
"You come see for yourself." I walked them to Chris's bed and grabbed his hand. "Ask him anything." The caseworker asked what year it was. Chris squeezed out the answer. Count to 5. 5 perfect squeezes. His mother's name, tapped out letter by letter. By the 10th question, she said, "He's still alive."
Chris is there, bro. He's probably in a coma or what? How does this work?
"We can't move him." Weeks later,
wait, if he's in a coma, but how's he moving?
I asked Chris what kept him fighting when everyone gave up. Heard Mom call me a corpse. Heard Dad say donate my organs. Heard all of them leave, except you.
We're here for the mission. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure you go ahead and smash the subscribe button. We're on the road to 300,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. Damn, so in 2 scenarios, if your brother wasn't there, he would have donated his organs and just died probably. And they would have just pulled the plug or something, right? And then number 2, when this kid comes back to full rehabilitation, right? Regular human citizen walking the streets like everyone else, right? Back to being fine. Your parents are cooked. It's over, bro. The relationship is over. Bro, I would never be able to forgive my parents for calling me a corpse and saying that I'm cooked.
The flight attendant slipped me a napkin that said, "The pilot isn't who he says he is. Meet me in the back to talk." Whoa. I knew she chose to tell me because of the military dog tags around my neck. I folded the napkin and slid it into my pocket. And that's when the captain's voice came over the intercom. "Good morning, folks. This is Captain Hopkins, expecting smooth skies to Chicago." But something was wrong. I could feel it in my bones. I waited 2 minutes and casually walked to the back.
Okay, why would you wait though? Go immediately. Because if this guy takes off and he's not a real pilot, he's gonna crash and kill literally everybody in the plane.
Not knowing what to expect. The flight attendant was there with a man holding up a police badge. The man whispered, "I'm glad you're here. I'm an undercover cop." I knew something was wrong straight away. The flight attendant whispered,
"Holy, it feels like I'm in a movie, like an action movie, bro."
I've flown with Captain Hopkins for 6 years. I don't exactly know what's wrong, but I know that's not Hopkins, and we're flying the wrong way. She showed me the flight map of where we were heading. The plane is heading toward an abandoned airport. I leaned over the map.
Where are we going, bro? Epstein Island? What's this?
My body was pumping with adrenaline because it was the perfect place to crash a plane. There's an empty space above the pilot's room. I can climb up and listen to what the pilot and co-pilot are planning through the ceiling. Take my number. If you can tell there's something fishy going on, text me one word, now. That's the signal to move. And to distract everyone while I climbed above
Oh my gosh, yo.
the ceiling. The flight
This feels like very risky, bro. If you go in the wrong place of a plane compartment, isn't it gonna crash the plane as well?
attendant made an announcement on the speakers to tell everyone to keep their seatbelts on. Through the cracks, I could hear two men in the pilot's room talking. 15 years ago today, our brother died because of Captain Hopkins. Now we get to crash his plane with him tied up on it while we impersonate.
No!
I texted the undercover cop. Now, the cart slammed into the pilot's room door, and the cop kicked it open. I dropped through the ceiling and tackled the fake pilot out of his...
Okay, but the plane's in the air, bro. What are we doing? We're in the air. Or we call us in the next like 9/11, bro. Respectfully, bro. We don't want to crash this thing into a tower, bro. Someone needs to come and get the man Hopkins or whatever and make him fly the plane again.
The cop pinned the co-pilot to the floor. The flight attendant grabbed the radio. Mayday, our pilot is gone. We need help landing right now. She looked at me. Find
Oh my God, bro. Imagine just being a regular passenger too. You're like,
Going to Japan, going to Europe, going to France.
you know, not a thing could happen. And then you hear, pilot dead, gone. We need an emergency landing now. Bro, I'd be praying so hard. And then
Free shipping now on Vinted, which means your next find just got better. From vintage finds to everyday favorites, discover
also just be like, yeah, it had to be me, bro.
Hopkins, the
It's only my luck.
actual pilot. He has to be on this plane somewhere. I sprinted to the back of the plane, checking every door. I yanked open the closet next to the bathrooms, and Captain Hopkins was inside with his hands tied
Wow.
and tape across his mouth. I ripped the tape off. Get me to the controls. He ran to the front and dropped into the pilot's chair. He grabbed the wheel. Tower, this is the real Captain Hopkins. I'm landing this plane. When we finally landed, the cops dragged the brothers off in handcuffs.
Wow.
The flight attendant came up to me in the aisle. I pulled the napkin out of my pocket and held it up. You saved 200 lives with this. She smiled and took it back. Became my school hero for 1 minute before